So from Not the Bee, this is which is Babylon Bee's not satire site. So this is a legitimate news source because they actually do investigative journalism. Father identifies as mother to win child custody. See, these are what the men's rights activists and others talk about, is when they say, hey, you're not even looking at what's actually going on. You're just making assumptions and saying, oh, mom's better for the kid. And also men can be women, and also men can have babies and all this other stuff. So guys out there, I said it before, it won't be long until men start using these crazy laws against them. That's exactly what's happening. We have from Not the Bee. They say, you can't make it up, folks. I dare you to even try. And it says, man legally changed from male to female to gain custody of his kids. And of course, the transitioning groups are concerned. Why are they concerned? Because they're saying, well, is he really, or is he just pretending? And then you start getting into, how do you tell the difference? And then you start saying, well, I don't know. How can you tell the difference? You can't. This is what you get when you start making things based on feelings and ideology and everything else, is someone can just come out and say, okay, you're right. I am now a woman, and I want to be mother to my children. And then they're trapped. They're trapped in either saying, A, he's faking it. How dare you? How dare you say that you've told me it's what I feel like in the moment? Some people can have various genders throughout the day based on what they feel. Your rules. So if this guy says, hey, I feel like I want to be a mother to my children, how do you fight it? This is why we have laws of nature, laws of science, laws of governance that make sense. They say a cisgender man in Ecuador legally changed his gender to female in an attempt to gain custody of his 2 daughters. But the LGHD TV groups are concerned about the man's use of law designed to promote the transitioning rights and what effect it could have in the future. And Babylon Bee, obviously this is an opinion piece as well. They say, oh, really? They're afraid an opportunistic fellow might use these laws to pretend to be a woman in order to give himself a positional advantage of some kind. Really? You mean that might happen? And then, of course, they have the laughing meme here. Of course. Opportunities in sports, opportunities in jobs, opportunities in education, opportunities in getting hired, promoted. These are your rules. You say it's stunning and brave. So don't be surprised when more people say, and then when they say, well, who have you dated? My love life is not your business. This is what happens when you do this. And this funny, like, I love this story. This is a feel-good story because it's guys saying, hey, you know what? You guys are going to make the weird rules. I'm going to play your game, but I'm going to be smarter than you at it. And that's what I love. Renee Salinas Ramos. Renee, I like that. Renee Salinas Ramos, 47, told local media that the change was not related to his sexuality or identity, but rather that the Ecuadorian legal system gives preferable rights to mothers over fathers when it comes to the custody of children. The laws say that one who has the right is the woman. As of this moment, I am female. I am now also a mom. That's how I consider myself, Salinas Ramos told La Voz del Tomebama outside the Civil Registry office on December 30th in the city of Cuenca. I'm very sure of my sexuality. What I have sought is that I want to be a mother so that I can also give the love and protection of a mother. Salinas Ramos alleged that his daughters live in a harmful environment with their mother and that he hasn't seen the children in over 5 months. Now when you go to court, instead of mother versus father, it'll be mother versus mother. And now we have to look at the differences between the mothers. Background, living status, income, other things. And if it turns out the one mother's better than the other, oopsie doopsie, now you've got yourself a transitioned mom. They say you always have to take claims like this with a grain of salt, but if this fellow's kids are indeed in a harmful environment, you need to give him some credit for utilizing a ridiculous legal loophole and try to protect them. That being clever and resourceful, just the things a protective father would be. The man is apparently not wrong about Ecuadorian law, by the way, from a British law firm. They state, if the parties are unable to agree to child arrangements, the court will decide matters. However, minor children are usually considered to be the primary responsibility of the mother and will live with her. Again, not looking at other outside. It's just they go with mom. And normally I would agree, but the problem is now moms are not necessarily good or healthy or better than fathers. They used to be staying at home. They used to be getting child support so they could just be a stay-at-home mom. But now women are going out there and they're using their child support money for shoes and cars and all this other crazy stuff. Gasoline, I guess, to get the kid around. I could understand that one. But makeup, other things like that. All right, I just spent, 15 minutes looking for the individual story, and I read it earlier, and I cannot remember the source nor find it, but in one area of the United States, a local municipality or a state, or it might be a city, has decided to give out debit cards for child support. So the father will pay the state will then fund the debit card, and the debit card can only be used on fuel and food and certain classes of food, which means mom can't wander in and buy herself a couple of bottles of booze. She can't go out and make car payments with it. She can't have indiscretionary spending, like walking into a nail salon. That they can only use it for food, like something like food, clothing, children's clothing, etc. And because of the shop codes that are on a lot of items, like the shopping codes, they can track and see what it's being spent on, and they can deny it to certain things. That was kind of the whole story. And you know what the response was? Women were furious. Why were they furious? Because they came up with but what if it's for ballet classes? But what if it's for something that's not covered on here? And what if it's, and they're trying to find all these escape clauses so they could basically use it for themselves or for anything they wanted. And there was a story about it, and I wish I could find it. If one of you can find it, please post it below. Which only goes to show that women are asking for more than what they just need for their children. And if a woman was going to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I'm going to teach my children to be happy and healthy and let their dad be part of their life. And so, okay, maybe there's an argument for letting her spend it on some more things, but it's being misused. And certain governments are finding this out, and they're saying, hey, we're going to correct this. And of course, the women are furious. I wish I could find the story for you guys, but I thought I'd at least mention it so you can look it up and see if that counts for you. If you're here just on YouTube, make sure to join me over here on Locals, where we're going to be doing dating profiles of the day. And sometimes we do a summation that I wander off into the weeds with some commentary. So make sure to join us over at betterbachelor.locals.com today.